Hey, good morning, everybody. We'll keep this one a little bit quick since my Wi-Fi is down and I am using cellular data. Anyways, good morning. I'm thrilled to see you. My name's Rita Hickman, body mind expert. I'm a shiatsu massage therapist. My specialty is helping women in narcissistic and toxic relationships. I use Asian medicine, I use body mind science, shamanism, and we come up with a plan that really makes you a stronger person, that is graceful and easy and wonderful, and finally gets you everything that you need, whether it be taxing the emotions or getting the support that you need, new ideas or new thoughts in your head, healing from past trauma, getting healthy habits in place, body-mind habits, get gut healthy, get your brain working, all of that. That's my specialty. It's like I do medicine for emotional and mental health, but the physical part of it. Anyways, and I help women who are struggling with narcissism. And the thing we're talking about today is we're talking about whether you should be a narcissist. So that's kind of a hot button question. You know, on first hand, absolutely you should be mad at a narcissist, because a narcissist is behaving in an extraordinarily self-absorbed way, and you happen to be the collateral damage of it all. Do you know how miserable that is? Of course, you should be furious. There's no doubt about it. And let's look at this a little bit deeper. So anger is something when we have a conflict within ourselves, when there's different parts of us, let's say our head and our heart and our gut, which all have a brain in them, all have brain cells in them, and they communicate with each other. Our gut's got a whole community that has its own intuition. Our heart has its own brain cells in it, quite a few actually, quite a few. And the coming off it can be measured feet away from the body, and that's measured, you know, if our things were sensitive enough. And then of course our brain. I mean, so we end up in this situation where our gut's telling us one thing, our heart is telling us something else. As an empath, maybe we're compassionate or understanding, and our heart's saying, you need to be compassionate and understanding. You know, and our gut's saying, you need to run away in the opposite. Why are you reacting so strongly? You know, this is a bully. Or it's bringing up all those obsessive, difficult thoughts from when you were trapped. So many times our anger, although justified the iceberg, and if you only deal with her, if you only deal with being mad and continuing to be in the pattern of giving all your power away to a narcissist to make you mad, you're going to end up feeling helpless. You're going to end up feeling hopeless. You're going to start getting sick. You're going to get frustrated. You're going to give up. You're going to feel stuck. You'll, be a part of patterns, health patterns, and the list goes on. So if we look at mad and we leave it there, as in I'm mad, then we tend to end up looping around. Don't really get anywhere. But I'd like to plant an idea in your head. I'd like to plant two ideas actually. One, that one of the reasons you're angry is because your head and your heart and your gut are not working in sync. Asian medicine has known for forever that we've got at least these brains. And typically, especially in Western society, they're pulling in opposite directions, creating this great amount of frustration, anger, and conflict and helplessness within ourselves. So in reality, our mind kind of help give a framework for things, help make decisions. Our heart is there to gather information and to see deeper, to see the body language and the energy, to feel the energy coming off of somebody. And our gut's there to help us navigate it intuitively, to take our wisdom and feel our way through it. So we want this stuff all online. So if you're angry, this is what I would suggest. And in fact, before you're feeling angry, I would suggest this. There's an exercise you can, which helps get your head and your heart and your gut in sync. So if you take your hand, you hit both sides of your head and you say, I'm connecting my head brain, and then you hit your sternum, but right in the middle of your body, and you say, and I'm connecting my heart brain, and then you do the same right by your belly button, right on your belly button. You tap it and you say, to my gut brain. So I'm connecting my head brain to my heart brain to my gut brain. I do that whenever I think about it. It's like drinking water. When I think about drinking and this is the same sort of thing. When I think about I'm connecting my head brain with my brain with my gut brain. And what you'll start to notice some more is that you have a better understanding and better knowledge of something. If you start to do that, and even before, as you do it, just practice, you'll start to see things in a more integrated way. You won't just see them from your head or your gut or your heart. You'll start to talk, and as a team, you'll actually start creating a team. Now, when you are mad, understandably so, the problem with that, though, is that it puts us into our fight or flight, our amygdala, and we end up trapped. We end up sounding anger. And in order for us to see things clearly, we have to get rid of some of that anger. We have to get rid of some of that pain and that hurt that we have such a charge around, that we've been carrying around maybe most of our lives, or has been passed down family member to family member. We've got a lot of feelings there that make us go, we just pop, and there we are. We're flooded, we're angry, we're resentful, we're hurt, we're shut down, we're overwhelmed, we're paranoid, all of that. That's you being in fight or flight. And when we're in fight or flight, we absolutely can't see clearly. So you fight or flight, and here are my two best ways to do that. One is EFT technique, and it's based on Asian medicine. When an emotion is a chemical as well as like an electrical signal in your system. It's a signal. It's a pattern. It's something that's kind of electrically based as well. Interestingly enough, when you tap on the body, when you tap a cell, it releases an electrical charge. So actually, when you tap yourself, even when you're doing the head stuff, it releases some of that emotional charge, and that's what you want. You want the charge to go down. So YouTube and you look for EFT, emotional freedom technique. You can dial into anyone you want. Find an instructor that you like. They do have to do affirmations with them. But what happens is when you're in crisis, when your amygdala is taking control and you can't think clearly, and you're emotionalizing and you're anxious or hurt or paralyzed or whatever, you can do EFT. And EFT is a tapping print on different acupressure points on your face, which because of that, and on your chest, which will release some of that anger and get you out of fight or flight and back into rational mind. So look up EFT and find some patterns that you really like. The second thing that I do when my amygdala is starting to grab control, I take 3 deep breaths. Because if you take 3 deep conscious breaths, it forces your body to get out of the amygdala mind. So 3 deep breaths are full body breaths. Breathe in, your body is scanning the light energies, and when you breathe out, your body is scanning the heavier energies. So when you do a deep breath in and a deep breath out, it's scanning your body and it's bringing you back to balance, normal. Oh, you know what? The third thing that I like to do when I feel in crisis is to take some CBD, because that will help get me out of the crisis, out of that amygdala place too. It brings your body into a state of balance, usually within about 20-30 minutes. So that'll help us all. So if you're mad at a narcissist, it's your body reacting. And when you've got some your body from reacting, you'll be in a better place. So the next little seed I want to plant in your mind is that anger is typically unexpressed grief. And it's unexpressed grief that's being stored somewhere in your body. I store a lot in my diaphragm, in my stomach, in my small intestines. I hold a lot of emotion there. Because of that, it can cause all sorts of odd, digestive problems as well. Emotions start to build up and they make you feel heavy and sick and sluggish, and there's congestion and you can't think clearly. That's what happens. Emotions build up over the decades. Absolutely over the decades. And so I want you to consider that your anger, that instead it's grief. It's unexpressed grief. And so when I'm going through a period when I want to be angry, when the thoughts in my head are very dramatic, I'm angry, I'm hurt, I want to punch back, I want to hurt somebody, one of the things that I do is I bring my other voice in, my the part of me that is an observer, as in Buddhism, and it's something we talk about with other videos, how to develop that observer in, and I remind myself, want to be in anger. I don't want to be in drama. I don't want that. And because I don't want that, I want to look at whether it's grief or sadness. And so I pull myself back from the anger because the anger is like too far, and I bring myself back to what am I sad about? And I don't even have to know. I just have to be with the grief, be with the sadness. If you can express it in some way, deep breathing or your nervous system letting go, those jerks, those small jerks, or crying, or coughing, or peeing, or laughing, something. If I can get that energy, that grief that's in there, that's stuck, moving, then it starts to take that weight and that lightness off my body. Whereas if I'm angry, it keeps me trapped in that conflict. But if I remember I'm not angry, if instead I remember that I'm grieving, to bring it back and think about how I'm sad and I'm hurt and let myself experience that, to release it. You're able to get less stuck. So I want you to consider, well, with anger, don't put it in that box because that might keep you stuck. Do as much as you need to do to honor it, but I like to bring myself back and say, no drama, please. I want to go deeper into this. And what you find is that you go deeper into it. You get deep insights and understanding. You figure things out better, okay? So things come up so that you can see deeper into what's going on and resolve it. If you leave yourself in the anger without bringing yourself back a little bit, then you're not going to get very far. But if you bring yourself back to the unexpressed grief and the sadness and you let yourself express and be with it and feel it, then you can get it out of your system and you'll start to feel lighter, okay? So all of this is kind of crazy complicated. Should you be mad at a narcissist? Absolutely you should. Is it good for you? No, because it doesn't get you very far. Whereas recognizing that you need to bring yourself back and you need to go deep what's really going on, which is the sadness or grief that's been accumulating over the decades, when you start to do that, you really will start to feel better, okay? I make mine a daily practice. If worse comes to worse, whenever you notice you're angry, those tools and remember that it's grief. So this is a lot of stuff. If you feel stuck, reach out. I've got this great group. I'm looking at $100 a month, and it's got small group coaching. You get one-on-one coaching. You get a private Facebook. You get community. You get somebody that you can out to at 2 a.m. You can send an email at 2 a.m. or leave a somewhere at 2 a.m. That's fine. Someplace where you can reach out and you're not alone. A community of people connect to whenever you feel stuck or you need to share your story on Facebook. Calls every single week to say what you need to say and get your problem, get some advice and support and thoughts and hear other people's stories alone. We do that every week. And the daily live streams. There's just so much. We need so much support when we're. And so I encourage you to reach out. Because I've got some great affordable resources to help you through this, okay? We either start with a strategy call or look into the group call and really figure out where you're at and what will help you out most. So, anyways, I hope you have a great rest of your day. I'm looking forward to seeing you tomorrow, and I'll talk to you later.